So, week 2 of half marathon training is done, and it went pretty well. Week 1 was just a 6-day week, started with a rest day. Week 2 was 7 straight days training, Monday through to Sunday. Briefly in summary, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, sort of recovery days. I tend to try and run to heart rate zones just because I find that a way of measuring the amount of effort that I'm putting in. So Monday and Wednesday are heart rate zone ones, which are about as slow as you can run without walking. Thursday is what's called a foundation run, so you pop into heart rate zone 2 for the majority of the run, so it's a bit more effort. And also Saturday is a recovery run, so again in low heart rate zone. Tuesday, a fast finish, which is a bit like a progression run, so you start again in heart rate zone 1 for a short period of time, good chunk of heart rate zone 2 for the run, and then rather than coming back and doing like a cool down run that would be back in heart rate zone 1, you push it on and actually run in a higher heart rate. So it's a bit more like when you go for a race and you're coming close to the end of the race and you find that final little bit of Mo Farah inspiration and push it on. So main highlight of the week for me was hill reps on Thursday. Sorry, not hill reps on Thursday, hill reps on Friday. Last week was the first week I did them. 8 reps, minute uphill, 2 minutes cool down. In this case I was doing 2 minutes cool down back down the hill, turning around, minute back up, so I was pretty much running the same sort of stretch of road. Last week went well, about a fifth of a kilometre in a minute, 4:30, 4:40 minutes per kilometre. This time, having done it and felt last week could have done a bit more, this time I pushed it a bit harder, and in that minute of uphill I managed to do 0.24, 0.25 kilometres, so a bit further. But what was really impressive is my time to do that was down at the 4:10s, and actually the final repetition, I think the average speed was just under 4 minutes per kilometre, which, you know, on a flat I can run faster, but rarely do. So to do that uphill, okay, just for a minute, but you know, really chuffed with that. Long run, same long run as last week. It's just a nice route. It's about the right distance at this moment to run following the ultra, and the fact I'm doing this for half marathon training. So all in all, a really good week. One thing I have found is over the last couple of weeks that the sort of indication of the effectiveness of the running that I've been doing has been quite interesting. Straight after Race to the Stones, though the runs felt good, and I felt that I was able to run, my watch, which is a Garmin, was suggesting to me that, you know, my body's working harder. My runs weren't as productive, and my fitness was not as good as it could have been. But it didn't feel particularly bad. Now I know you've got to take all this stuff with a pinch of salt, and you know, it's a bit of plastic, metal and rubber sat on your wrist, and it's telling you that you're not very, you know, your runs aren't very productive. So yeah, you know, I'm not going to change the world with what it tells me, but over the last week and a half, it's now started to tell me that my runs have been more productive, and I have felt stronger, and I've felt fitter than I did a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. So although I was running and I kind of thought, you know, Race to the Stones is out of my legs, I'm able to run the distances I normally run the frequencies I normally run. Actually, you know, I think it was having a longer drawn out effect than I realised, and that's all great learning. You know, it's the first ultra I ever did, and it certainly won't be the last, but respect the distance, you know, possibly. I might have taken an extra few days off before I got back into the saddle, so to speak, to make sure it was out of my legs, but it shouldn't surprise me, I suppose, that it takes what is now 3 weeks to really get that distance out, to get the body back in shape, and to be feeling the way I was feeling a month or two ago. Next week, week 3 training, it's going to be pretty much the same as week 2. The only difference being that off on a family holiday at the end of the week, so Saturday, Sunday's going to be a bit of a change. Saturday there won't be any running. Sunday, probably not a very long run, but we're going to be down in Cornwall, going to be hitting the Southwest Coastal Path, which is a place that is absolutely brilliant to run in. We're going to be North Cornwall this time. Last year we were in South Cornwall. I've got a rather ambitious 60k run that I'm trying to convince the other half to give me a good few hours one day to run and meet me at the other end, scrape me up off the footpath. But I'm going to try and get out, do a few 10, 20k distances. The hills are going to be great training, but the scenery is absolutely phenomenal. I'm looking forward to sharing some of those pictures and video clips and some of that running experience with you over the next week or two. So through to Saturday next week, it's going to be pretty normal, and then it's going to be a bit of a mishmash for a week and a bit. But it's going to be some good running. What running I get to do is going to be some fantastic running out there. So here's to another week, and I'll fill you in at the end of it. Take care.